games. It's probably going to take some time for you guys to gel a lot of new players. Instead, maybe 10, 20 games into the season. Do you think that could be the case where it's going to take some time for you guys to all get on the same page?
No, I don't think that statement is pretty accurate, man. We've been through preseason. We had 4 games to use as a tune-up, to start building to where we want to go. And I don't think, that we're going to have to wait 10 to 20 plus games to actually do that. It's going to, take some time to gel and get to, to ultimate goal to where we want to be. I mean, of course, because he's right. It's a completely new team, completely new coaching staff. But as far as the principles of, coming in doing the things that we are, set in stone as, this is the team that we're going to be. Those things should be met every night we come into the arena, every night we come into, the facility to practice. So, I definitely think to a certain aspect, it's definitely going to take some time to gel and, get more acquainted with each other on the floor because he's right. It is a fairly new team, but as far as, the principles of what we do as a team, I don't think, you have to really wait for those things.
And, the league this year is enforcing rules a little bit differently in terms of non-basketball moves. Trying to get your defender up in the air and not calling that anymore. What do you think about that as just players? I'm sure how they encounter that as defenders.
You really wish, bro. I don't got no phase on my game. I don't really get calls as it is for how aggressive I play. So they don't got no bearing on how I play either way, brother. As far as, being somebody that has to guard that, I kind of feel helps out a little bit more, especially if a guy just comes off a screen and just, flails his arms up but throws the ball at the rim and, gets that call. But as far as me, that don't really have any bearing on my game, really.
In terms of meeting standards every night, going into the last preseason game, is there any part of your game where you're kind of rolling a team that you feel like, okay, this is what I really want to focus on going into 4?
Just being that vocal leader on the defensive end of the floor. I'll be on the floor with a lot of guys who are, fairly young and, still understanding the concept of, rotations and the principles of what we're trying to have on the defensive end of the floor. So just being the anchor on the defensive end of the floor, man, talking to guys, trying to coach guys up and help guys be in the right position on the end of the floor. As far as offensively, man, I find it simple as that. I find that I play with a number of guys who draw a lot of attention with the basketball. And, I've been able to, just been able to play and feed off them. So you play the game the right way, man, 9 times out of 10 is going to find you.
Wes said last game that he liked where the effort was at compared to the first 2 preseason games, especially on defense. Do you agree with that? Is that kind of one of the aspects that you've seen maybe take a pretty steady trajectory upwards, or how would you about it?
I think so. I mean, every game is different. I think through all the 3 preseason games, every one of them has been differently. Both, all 3 of them in the process of, going in the upward direction. But at the same time, I just want us to get away from the consistent, just having the lapses of doing it. Really, I think that's what coach really wants us to harp on and actually, just kind of get away from knowing, really. And if we could just do that, I think we'll be in a much better shape. His big messages, with standing and doing things for longer periods of time, longer stretches of time, and not just having it where we're doing it at, a good amount of time and then it fades off and then we got to try to pick it back up. So just stop having those lapses pretty much, really.
Sure, you made it clear last year that it was an off season because you probably weren't used the way that you thought you should have been used. So the way you were used this year on this team, does it remind you of your Clipper days or before that?
It's still up to be determined, man. This is preseason. This is still one of those things that we're trial and error. So I don't know how the season is going to go. I don't know what coach's rotation is going to be fully. And at the end of the day, it's still a learning process for everyone. At the end of the day, man, I didn't say nothing wrong. I didn't say nothing to offend anybody. It is what it is, man. The facts going to prove it, man. Everybody watched it. Simple as plain, man. So if I offended anybody for saying how I felt with, what I felt with sitting out and not being able to help with my team, it is what it is, man. I don't care. But I don't want to be, that's something that I'm going to consistently have to talk about, man. It is what it is. That's something that happened last year, and this is where I'm at. As far as, like I said, this team is what we're going to do. I don't really know what coach's plan is for me because we have a lot of guys on the floor that has different lineups, guys that are still gelling, trying to understand it, and we don't know what it's going to be when it comes for that first game night. So when that first game rolls around, we're over in Canada and Toronto, that's when we really lock in. That's when I really figure out, what my true identity is for this team.
it's somebody who plays with max energy all the time. I mean, you feel like no matter what this team winds up being, you know what you're going to bring night in and night out, and what you can contribute to the squad.
I mean, pretty much, and it's not really on a selfish area or more so just think about me because I'm not the only person that's out there. I'm out there with 4 other players and 12 other people sitting on the sideline plus coaches, man. So it's not about me, but I mean, I can only control the things that I can control. I can't come out there on the court and make a guy play hard or make a guy do anything, man. We're all grown men, man. But I know, night in and night out, I know what I'm going to bring to the table, and that's to play hard, to play the correct way, do all the winning things to help put my team in order to win a basketball game, man, because ultimately that's what we're out here to do. I mean, we're blessed to be able to play this game and call it our job, and you can't ask for nothing no better. But every night I go into an arena, every night I come into a facility and, be able to lace up my shoes and, say this is my job. I'm blessed, so I don't take it for granted.
You've been around long enough to know when you have a team, whether it's a new coach or new players, or in this team's case, both, that adjustment period is an adjustment period. But on the other hand, how patient can y'all afford to be, especially given the first 10 or 12 games y'all got, the schedule is pretty tough. So how do you kind of speed that process up?
I mean, to be honest with you, bro, we don't have a lot of pressure on us, man. To be honest with you, man, nobody really is expecting us to do anything, really, bro. Reporters, league, nobody's expecting us to do anything, bro. So it's not a lot of pressure on us, bro. So we really just got to go out there and play with the right mindset. We got to go out and carry the game plan that our coaches have us doing each game. And, just play the game to win. Simple as that, man. We can't go out here and put the weight of the world on our shoulders, bro, because the thing about it is nobody has us doing anything off the rip anyway, bro. Like, Brad has said it many a times, bro, since we've been around here, bro. We're the Washington Wizards, bro. It's a team that's been looked over for how many years now? So, bro, we're just looking to come in here and change the culture of that, man. Honestly, we're looking to come in here and just come with a winning mindset and just, get the spirits, get the, the district and the whole city back to, a state of belief, man. Like, pretty much that's what it's about, man.
Where the passion comes from? I mean, I think it's in part the struggle. I don't know much about his early life, but whenever you're either second round or undrafted, and you got to grind through and you got to figure out your place in the league because nothing's guaranteed. And you go to a team with a lot of vets and a lot of stars and stuff like that. You have a more rigorous time coming through, and so to earn a 6th man of the year and to be a staple in the league and all that other stuff, like, he had to go through some things to get that. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a top 5 pick that got handed the ball and said, go rock out and figure it out,
And we haven't really heard, we've heard a lot of guys say, guys on this team have stuff to prove, that you want to put the organization right, and the championship on me. We haven't heard anyone say, nobody believes that we can do anything, but we don't have those expectations on us. Is that a sentiment, I guess, that is going around, that you believe that you have that kind of chip on your shoulder from that aspect?
I mean, I think we all do. You know what I'm saying? I think it's collective, both individual and together. We have aspirations of kind of turning this thing around and starting to lay the foundation for an upward trajectory. That's no secret. I think everybody's talked about that. And to do that, we have to be accountable to our specific jobs, and then hopefully it rounds into shape.
Corey Kispert has been widely compared to Joe Harris. He's been studied his footwork instead, and you obviously played with Joe. You know his game very well. What do you think about that? And was there anything that clicked, or when it clicked, when you saw Joe kind of really figure out in the NBA that could apply for it?
Me and Joe got on the same team our 3rd year. I didn't see him as a rookie, but they're definitely actually very comparable. Kind of tricky with the ball, a little bit better handle than you might think. Played again the right way. Obviously can shoot at an extremely high level. Corey's not the shooter Joe is at the moment, but like I said, I didn't catch Joe as a rookie, and so Corey might be better than Joe was as a rookie. I would probably venture to guess that he was or is. And then, yeah, just kind of crafty finishes at the rim, things like that. That's a comparison I think is pretty fair.
And what do you think about the fact that the league is enforcing the non-basketball moves rules a little bit differently this year? You can't just get someone up in the air and lean into them. What's your take on that? Is the player has to guard it, or maybe it's utilized different times?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I've utilized it a little bit in drawing fouls and free throws. I've also had it utilized against me many times as well. I think it's going to be something that has to find a balance and an equilibrium. I think they're probably going to go a little bit too far to start, where they're not calling anything, and then they're going to kind of even back out to that sweet spot. But I think, outlandish stuff where people are kicking their legs out or flailing and, jumping backwards and hitting people in the jaw and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that needs to probably be cut out. But, for the people that are really crafty, a la James Harden, like he's going to do things that warrant a foul call. He's that crafty and that good at the game of basketball. And just because he's that good, he shouldn't be penalized for being able to kind of create that contact.
And the preseason stats are what they are, but you guys have been one of the best teams at limiting turnovers.
Mhm.
According to like assist turnover ratio, you've been a big part of that. Just has that been a big emphasis, and how have you guys been working on that in practice?
I mean, it's something that every coach speaks to, but I don't know if there's any drills that are particular to not turn the ball over. Yeah, I mean, I think throughout my career, I've kind of been a good assist turnover type of basketball player. So, I'm glad I had that effect on the group.
Spence, you told me at media day this surgery you're coming off of was different than the first one.
Yeah.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're 9 months post-op.
Something like that, yeah.
Are you surprised where you are when you had a checklist of where you wanted to be at this time of your rehab? Where are you right now?
No, I mean, I got cleared 5.5 months. So, could have played then. I'm not saying it would have been as smooth as it is now. Obviously, I'm going to continue to get better. I think, what they always say, they say the second season. So next season, I'll probably be at that crazy peak type of level, but I think we're going to continue to get better and better every game, every month of this season and continue to build. I've been grateful to have a certain amount of ramp up thanks to, my LA training staff as well as the Wizards training staff, going from kind of that 5.5 month mark to this 9 month mark. I think overall it's been fairly smooth. So, I'm cautiously optimistic, let's say. Not health wise. I'm very optimistic health wise, but just game wise, cautiously optimistic and want to keep building.
There's this thing called corporate knowledge where you just kind of see how things work from
Yeah.
your ACL before. From that mental trust factor.
Yeah.
Is that what you're working on now, or are you kind of past that?
No, I passed that. I mean, like you said, corporate knowledge, having a much worse injury and with a certain lack of resources when I was younger, and then going through it this time with an easier injury and far more resources. I think the trust was pre-built in that as long as I was diligent in the process, I would be fine. I would say you just, anytime you're away from a game for, really a year and a half, because remember I missed the bubble with COVID, and then missed most of last season. So it's just by getting your sea legs in, and there's going to be ups and downs. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to play pretty solid this preseason. I'm assuming at some point in time I will have a bad game, but you know what I mean. Like it's gonna continue to get better and progress. So that's more so what I meant by kind of continuing to lay the foundation and the blocks. But health wise and concern wise, like I have no fear. I mean, you see me out there jumping off the right leg, half of my layup. So.
One question about you and Brad. Each game, have you noticed you guys getting more close to being where you need to be? Are you guys at the eye contact thing yet?
Nah, we still getting some of that down, but overall, though, I think being adaptable is one of the things that I try to do, and Brad's a super low maintenance star. You know what I mean? So it bodes well for an easy marriage. And for me, like I said before, like when we were talking about analyzing people's games, like a lot of the time it's like, what play do you want, bro? And how can I best get out your way? Like if you can humble yourself, that's not a hard position to be in. Like, hey, look, man, what play you like? Oh, that one? All right, I'm gonna call that. Hey, everybody, run that play. All right, now we're gonna get the hell up out the way. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not too difficult.
I assume he's got the wherewithal to say that maybe more than other guys on the squad if he says, hey, run this.
Oh, no. So I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? Like he's the only one I'm really listening to when that like, maybe, you know what I'm saying, cool slides one in there. I'm like, all right, bro, like you hit a couple threes, I got you. But like there's nobody else really coming to me like, hey, run this. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I got you. No, that's out. Like I converse with Brad. If not, I go check with the coach. If nothing else, then shoot, it might be time to get busy.
Hey, with Brad, and I know there's following you out there now too, but do you sense that potentially y'all could have you could run some two guard front looks, and Princeton look, the two of y'all,
I mean, you could if you go more like traditional actions. I think you definitely could. I think when you look at the game today, a lot of it's like quicker actions. So it's about like how can I keep the floor spaced, and wide screens, double pin downs. Where can I get him into, angle stack, angle swing, things of that nature, where like he's catching his second side, getting into the pick and roll, not much help, and he's just getting busy. You know what I mean?
it's coming downhill.
Yeah, it's coming downhill and doing whatever he chooses. You know what I'm saying? They go into the pick, shoots it, go over, get downhill. Like, if they switch it, ISO, like he's got a lot of options and he's got, you know what I'm saying, obviously the bag to get into those options. Like I said, it's more so just about like setting the framework. Once he gets the rock, it's more so like, hey, get space.
So I gotta ask since you brought it up. So how's the negotiation with Kuz on getting some sets for him?
It depends on how you play. You gonna play like the first two games, or you gonna play the last one. Shoot, I'll listen a lot more if you play like that. He knows that though. That ain't nothing new.
Good. Was everybody able to go to that?
Oh yeah, yep. Aside from Cassius, it was same group. We got after it a little bit. I think it's important on off day to blow it out and be a little bit more competitive, be a little bit more running in. So overall, good day.
Kyle Kuzma was speaking with TV's Chris Miller and said that it's going to take some time for this team to gel with a lot of new players. He said it might take 10 games, maybe 20 games. What do you think about that? Just kind of the patience it might require to get everyone on the same page.
No, I agree. It'll take some time. Hopefully not 10 or 20, but I think it will take some time for us to coalesce as a group. Keeping in mind that you do have a number of new players, but also a completely new staff, new terminology, different philosophies. So all that combined, only play 4 preseason games. So just try to get it all in. It's tough. So it will take some time, but we're going to push and try to make this progression happen a little sooner than later.
Wes, with Rui being back, has he been able to be at the facility? Like, kind of where is he in terms of his, like, I know he's got the intake testing and all that stuff.
So still in the protocol, and that's probably another few days. But I think once we get through that phase, we'll start ramping up some individual stuff and go from there.
And I know you've been wanting to kind of just put messages of support out there and in your conversation and everything. How do you think about when do you start sending the messages of, okay, now here's maybe what the role of the team, here's what we would like to see. Like, is that way down the line after you assess physical condition or anything like that?
I don't think it's way down the line. I mean, we already have some edits that we'll send to him, and obviously when he's ready, we'll spend some time away from the court, to try to help get him back to speed. But that in itself is going to take some time.
And then, with the last preseason game coming up, do you think of it that way as like, here's our last chance to kind of test some of the things out, or talking about it's going to take some time? How do you kind of, I guess, what's the checklist for the things you want to get done by the last preseason game? Do you think of it like that?
Oh, yeah, I think it's also important to see once again the carryover that we're trying to get. Although we can tweak and add some things as well. It's our last chance to play with some things before it counts. So whether that's lineups, but overall it's just let's get better. Let's be better than we were the night before. That's the most important thing.
In terms of role definition, have you talked to every player that's obviously going to be waiting on Rui and Cassius, but I know coaches always have to tell people that this is what you think you should be on the team. Have you had those conversations already?
Yeah, I had them, shortly after I took the job, and I think it's something you continually have to hit guys with. It's not just one conversation and that's it. And I think, sometimes it gets lost throughout the games, the season. Sometimes your roles change with, injury or illness, some type of absence, but it's got to be a continuing message, not just for myself, the staff. It goes back to also the accountability from player to player, and those groups that are playing together. What's my role with these specific lineups? So I think that's different at times as well.
You're telling me before, but offensively, you haven't even put all of your package in there yet. So when the season starts, is that something like during the shoot around or during practice you're starting to implement even more, or you want to see what you got right now before implementing?
No, I think you implement as you go to a certain extent. I think it's important to implement. At times, you use your ATOs, and you put the name on there, you run it again. So there's a little bit of corporate knowledge, and then you can reintroduce it. They say, hey, remember this action? We got a lot of mileage out of this. This is what it's called. This is what we're looking for. So there's ways throughout the game, but also in practices, shoot arounds to kind of sneak something in without them feeling burdened with, a completely new set of offensive things.
What's with Rui again? Is it you think it's multiple weeks? Is it a couple of weeks? I mean, how do you see this playing out?
I have no timetable, to be honest with you. I think it'll play itself out, and we're going to be patient to an extent, but when he's ready, we'll be ready.
And it's almost, I know it's impossible to answer, but I have to ask anyway. So not knowing certainty when he's going to be here, how do you integrate him once he's ready to go?
Well, I think the most important thing is we have to be slow and steady and be consistent. I think we've tried that approach with all of our guys, not throwing too much at them so they don't become overwhelmed. Let's get clarity with what we're looking to get, how we want to play, what do we want to achieve. And then once we feel that the base is there, we can gradually build and add to his plate. But I think it's going to be too much for anybody to miss this much time and just throw them out there and think they're going to have success.
With Spencer and Brad, I mean, I know it's 5 guys out there, not 2, but what have you seen their dynamic play out like so far?
I think it's overall been good. They've shown some great stretches. They haven't shot the ball well, but I think that'll come. I'm not worried about that. And made the point the other night. We've gotten the looks that we desire. It's obviously it's a make or miss, and that's what matters. But if we continue to generate the types of shots we're looking for, I think good things will happen.
Preseason stats are what they are, but you guys are the second best team in the league right now at limiting turnovers. Has that been a big point of emphasis in training camp?
It has been. I think it's, obviously it helps your defense, but it's also, we want to get a good shot every time. There's a thin line between being too conservative. So I think we can quicken our pace a little bit, get into the front court and initiate our offense a little sooner. But that doesn't mean we want to play frenetic. And I think, taking care of the ball gives ourselves a chance.
All right, Coach, let's switch over to Zoom for a question. We're going to start with Christos.
Hello, Coach. How are you? I would like to ask you, speaking about Spencer, what did you like most on the way that he reads the game on the floor in those training preseason games?
Well, as a big guard, I think he has that advantage. He's got the burst to get to the rim. He's got size to make plays. He can see the floor. He also has a pretty good feel and understanding of not only what we're trying to run, but how it's being defended. So that gives him an advantage to see late plays, obviously to get to the rim. He can finish at a good rate, and also he can go get his own. So it's multifaceted, but I think, with his size, his ability to read the floor, it really opens up a lot of things.
And also from 1 to 10, how ready are the Wizards right now? And what is your biggest concern before the regular season starts?
Oh, I think the biggest concern is our mindset. It's easy to get discouraged. You haven't had the success we're looking for early in the preseason. I'm not consumed necessarily with, the losses more so than the way we've played. And to see those guys play together in stretches, that's the most important thing for me. The big thing too is to have carryover. And we say it a lot. And, at times the only thing we've seen as far as carryover is some of the carryover of bad habits. So we're still trying to break some of those. And that's going to take a bit of time. But, it's a tune-up. We have to be ready, obviously October 20th, because they count. So that mindset and sense of urgency that we've talked about at length, we need to see it.